Hi guys, Jay Smith here, welcome to AskGolfNut channel and welcome to a video which you guys are not allowed to turn off. Well, not quite yet anyway. What I've in my hands here would potentially change golf forever as long as all other manufacturers copy it and get the price of making this or manufacturing this down. Because I've got in my hand the Cobra 3DP Tour. Now this proves to be game improvement, help, forgiveness, assistance in a player's chassis. This is 31 degrees, so this is firmly in the player's distance sector. And remember, when it comes to player's distance sector, guys, most people think it's player's forgiveness. No, it's not. It's player's distance, players that want more distance. When it comes to the forgiveness side, generally speaking, it's really difficult to make something this small yet forgiving because you're trying to make the faces really fast, etc., etc. This golf club, little bit different. Now, I've already done the heat map information when I hit it all over the face, get an understanding of how forgiving this golf club is. We'll be looking at that one at the second half of the video, but I can already say one thing. This has got 100 grams of tungsten in it, and it is one of the most forgiving golf clubs I have ever used. It's 3D printed of 316 stainless steel, so it is properly all 3D printed. Lattice works the lot. Looks on this, we have a relatively medium to thin top line. Again, this is the player's distance sector. We have a medium-ish sole. This is absolutely not thin, like the blade as such, but this is designed to go along with the blade, and it is a very nice looking golf club. And blade lengths, it's not big at all. Remember, this is player's distance. Players that want more distance, but they don't want to go to something massive and chunky. This definitely is not massive and chunky. We are at a hole which has just been played on TV. Well, I suppose that depends on when you're watching this, I guess, but it has just been on TV. So if you want to comment below as to tell me what hole we are on and obviously where we are, we're going to go give this 31 degree. This is 190 yards, so I'm not quite sure I've got all the guns to get there, but we have plenty of water, as you can see. Right, let's go give this one a hit. Down by the golf ball, I tell you what, it looks a gorgeous iron. If someone's just gonna make this chrome, I could absolutely game these. Oh, well now this is missing the green, but then again, I'm not messing with that water. That's a pretty decent shot that's gonna run off the green. Club head speed 92 miles an hour, club path 0.7 from the inside, and face is slightly open, 1.2 degrees open, that's why it went out to the right hand side. Strike isn't too bad, 2 mil hill, 7 mil low, so still slightly low on the face, but we are going 174 yards of carry and a bit of bounce and roll towards the pin, nowhere near the water, and we are going 38 yards in the air and 50 degrees descent angle. Now that would stop on most, if not all greens, but these greens are like bowls, so they just funnel off. Feel wise, slightly low on the face, so you can't give it a proper critique if you're going to hit it slightly low on the face, but already it does feel quite nice. Gives you plenty of feedback to know exactly where you've hit it on the face. 7mm low, but considering it feels pretty darn good. Let's go give it another go, because let's see if we can hit it in the middle rather than 7mm low, because that's not necessarily completely fair on the golf club. But I do not want to go left, because left here is water and the drink. I'm definitely not going left. It feels lovely. That's much more middle, and it is just really very nice. Fast greens. Club speed 92.3 miles an hour, club path is 0.0, face is slightly open, 0.8 of a degree, that is it. I'm definitely not going left. 2.7 yards off to the right, 41 yards in the air, 51 degrees descent angle. Any other normal golf course, and that is basically plug-in, that's hitting the ground and stopping. 175 yards of carry, that is going up, that is going forward. That's still slightly low on the face, 4mm, not much whatsoever, but feels really very nice. If manufacturers can copy this and go down the route of 3D printing your irons, it will make the whole manufacturing process cheaper, and it allows potentially for you to get custom fit for your irons. Everyone makes this massive thing about drivers. You have 4 different drivers now. You have one 10K head, you have one LS Tech head, you have the normal head, and then you have a draw head. So in the drivers, you've got 4 heads already. And that is for golfers that need the strike help in different places or the flight help in different places to make their drives better. With the whole idea of 3D printing, you've got 100 grams of tungsten in this iron, and really you could place it in anywhere you want to help from your strike location and where you need the assistance. This is potentially going to change golf forever. I love it for that custom fitting opportunity to get you exactly golf clubs you require. Would I have a set if you chromed them and I could still get a second job? Because you'd need to. £2,100 I think they are. I don't know what that is in America, $2,500 or something, but actually saying that though, if you look at most manufacturers' players' distance irons, well, this is a player's distance iron, they are sometimes into the £200. It is still very expensive, but it is not that much more expensive than what is commonly now really expensive anyway. Right, give it another go. I do like these irons, very, very much. Oh, it's just lovely. These do really feel like players' irons, like proper players' irons. It's a really good golf club. Just Cobra, make it cheaper, please. Club speed 92.7 miles an hour, club path face to path, very 0-0. Strike is, oh, look at the zeros on that. 0 point for the club path, 0 point for the face of path. 0-0 on the strike as well. You're not going to be seeing this one. 0.0 offline as well. Push pull 0. That's, yeah, that was 1 out of a million. It feels lovely. Now this is a player's distance iron, and so generally speaking, with all the tech that you have hollow bodied and filled with this and filled with that, sometimes it's difficult to make these feel like they should do, especially when you're looking at these are going to be blended maybe with the player side, the proper full-on blades and player's cavity. So to find a golf club which is a player's distance iron which feels very, very close to a blade, it's just, these are getting very close to my favorite golf clubs, definitely of 2025. Ever, definitely not, because I'm a blade player, so I'm like my chrome, etc. But these, for a lot of golfers, if you can just make it cheaper, wow, the potential this golf club has got is crazy. One last one, and then we're going to get into 3 different swing speeds and the heat maps. Oh, just gorgeous. I mean, that's slightly low heel on the face, but it's just so good. It feels lovely. Club speed 92.7 miles an hour, club path face to path, very 0-0. Strikes, yes, slightly low heel, 4 mil heel, 5 mil low. I can distinctly feel that. It's going 40 yards in the air, 50 degrees descent angle, carry 180 yards. It's just doing every single thing that I could ever want a golf club to do. Now, the 100 grams of tungsten you've got in there, that'll be really interesting to see how forgiving this is. Already done the data. It's really forgiving. Let's go have a look at the heat maps to show how forgiving this golf club is. Let's also go test it at 70, 80 and 90 miles an hour. And what I will also do is I will put this up against the Limit 3D to see how close these two golf clubs actually are. I have to be very careful about how I explain this because I want to say that this Cobra 3DP Tour iron is the most forgiving iron that I've ever tested. But I'm going to have to explain before I say that. But we'll do the 70, 80 miles an hour and then we'll look at reasons why I think it is and it isn't the most forgiving iron that I've ever tested. On the screen you can see this is the information from the self-fit tool. This is from www.askgolfnut.com, where my website members can have a look at all the different tiers and select the information that they want to have a look at. And this gives you a great understanding of how golf clubs of the 70 or plus so that we've got on the website to date, how it works when it comes to comparing one against the other. But we've got here the Cobra 3DP Tour in blue. We've got the club speed set at 70 miles an hour. We've got angle attack is the angle of which you come down into the golf ball. The club comes down into the golf ball at -2, and the shaft lean or D-loft, how much you take loft off or add loft into delivery. Again, if you're a gold tier member and you need help with understanding how you deliver, then by all means email me or get me on Discord. That's probably the best way and we can help you out, no problem. But you can see the 7-iron is going 126 yards maximum carry. We'll get back onto the maximum bit in a little bit, but maximum carry with 122 average carry. And the average carry is what happens when you have a nominal miss around the face, how much distance you're expecting to drop. So only 4 yards, 22 yards in the air and 42.3 degrees descent angle. So 42.3 degrees with a 7-iron is functional. This is a 31 degree lofted 7-iron. It's got plenty of help, should we say, from the 100 grams of tungsten. And effectively we are saying that it is functional from 70 miles an hour. Remember, this is from the middle, so, or the fastest part of the face. got to be careful how I say this because I'm going to have to quantify exactly what I mean in a little bit later on. But this is from the fastest part of the face, and you are going to be functional at 70 miles an hour, which is really quite encouraging. If you go to 80 miles an hour, then we are talking about maximum carry again, 149 yards, only 4 yards drop, 145 from the average carry from a normal miss hit, but we're getting 29 yards in the air, 47 degrees descent angle, no worries whatsoever about control into a green at 80 miles an hour. And you have to go all the way to probably 6 iron at 44 degrees, where I'd be thinking about, okay, after that 5 iron, definitely looking into going something like a hybrid, because you need something with a little more control, a little bit more stopping power going into a green. By that point, you're doing 163 yards of carry, which is 80 miles an hour. Not bad at all. 90 miles an hour though, that's 7 iron. 167 yards, 163 yards average of carry, 38 yards in the air, 50 degrees ascent angle, and of course this is at -2 angle attack and also -2 of the shaft lean. If you de-loft more, then that's going to send the golf ball a little bit longer, but then also will not promote such a high launch angle. So again, this is the great thing with the self-fit tool. You can change those sliders to suit how you particularly individually deliver the golf club to make sure you get the right results, and comparing all the different results from the different golf clubs. Talking about different golf clubs, there's stick the Limit 3D in there to show you just how different, or actually how close they are. And guys, the Limit 3D and the 3DP Tour is basically identical. There is no difference whatsoever. If you look at them, there is minor, as I'm talking minor differences, the tiniest of aesthetic differences, that's it. Effectively, they are identical. The only difference with the 3DP Tour is it is much more mass produced than the original limited Limit 3D. We still have the blue as a 3DP Tour, but I put the Limit 3D in yellow, and as you can see there, within a very small margin of error, we are talking about rounding differences between yards, 167 to 168, 38 yards in the air, 38 yards in the air, and exactly the same descent angle. These two golf clubs are identical. If you haven't seen these before, these are the forgiveness heat maps. These are a representation of the face and how much ball speed is lost when you don't hit the middle every millimeter you move away from the middle. And more on the middle in the sec. But you can see at the top there, we've got +22, that is the toe, and -22 on the right hand side, that is the heel. So we're looking at its face on. You've got high and also low. You do have that blue dotted line, that is turf interaction line. This is not normal because I don't normally have the two columns down the left hand side showing you 18 to -21 and +22 to -17. Normally you've only got +22 at the top and -17 at the bottom. That denotes 17 millimeters low. There is a distinct weirdness with this golf club, and it is because of that tungsten, and it is because of the fact that this is 3D printed. This is different to any other iron that I have tested to date. We, when testing, come up with some very strange and weird information, and it made us test it, I don't know how many more times, test the Limit 3D as well as the 3DP. If I flick over now to the 3DP, you'll see just how close it is. It's basically the tiniest shift of green blob. And that tiniest shift of green blob can be the difference between rounding differences. The shape is the same, the size is the same, it's just fractionally shifted across towards the heel. But effectively, because of the rounding differences, it could be exactly the same, and it is basically exactly the same. The big difference with this iron is because of its 3D printed, it is not bound by the same restrictions that every other form of manufacturing has to offer, i.e. the cast or the forging. Because it's 3D printed, it can use lattice work, like if you imagine what honeycomb is. Honeycomb is exceptionally strong, but exceptionally light, no different to Formula One race cars that use carbon fiber. Exceptionally strong, but exceptionally light. They don't have the same mass problems that other manufacturers in normal standard manufacturing processes have. And so what they're finding is they can draw that center of gravity lower than anything I've ever seen. Now, if you look at the two boxes, normally you would see that zero box with the dark green zero, that is the middle of the face. That is always the case. The fastest part of a golf club is always the middle, the part where you should hit it. Manufacturers go to extreme depths and measures to try and make the other parts of the face faster to make the whole thing more forgiving. This golf club is really, really weird. It has the center of gravity so low that the fastest part of the face is actually about 5 or so millimeters low, which then means the middle of the face, the part where you should be hitting it, ideally, is actually 1 to 2% slower than the fastest. Now, if you look at the heat map there, you would say from the 0 part of the face, you can move all the way to extreme toe, extreme heel, and even extremely low on the face, and you don't lose more than 3 to 4%. However, this is the majorly interesting thing with this golf club. When I'm hitting this, I'm hitting it in the middle. I want to hit it in the middle. I'm hitting shots from the middle, referencing how far it goes and what it's doing and how efficient it is. And then I hit it from extreme other spots and it's doing the exact same thing. And I'm thinking this golf club is basically all green. And initially, when we put all the data in the heat map tool, everything went green. Everything was basically a 0, 1 or 2% everywhere. Down the bottom of the golf club, it was 1%. And I was going, well, this can't be the most forgiving golf club ever, but it is. Because I was referencing it from the middle, where I should have been referencing it from the fast part of the face. Now, the interesting thing with this, more than anything else, and this is where I feel that manufacturers really need to learn and understand what Cobra are doing here and copy it and quick, is because Cobra have effectively made something which is the most forgiving thing I feel ever. Why? Is because I'm trying to hit the middle. My reference point is middle. And so effectively, I'm 1 to 2% low on my distance from hitting the middle. So from that middle point as a reference, anywhere on the face, anywhere, extreme toe, extreme heel, even extreme low, is no more than 2% miss. It's the difference between you going to a flag and your 0 point is a flag. If you've got a 4% miss between 0 and 4%, like we see on the heat map there, you've got the difference between 0 being at the flag and 4% loss being short. If you're looking at it from how I'm looking at it, your 0 point is actually the middle of the face where I'm trying to hit it was actually 2% loss. Your difference is between 0, 2% long and 2% short. Actually, that is much, much closer to the pin than 0 at the pin and 4% short. This golf club is amazing and I really, really, really like it. To conclude on the Cobra 3DP Tour iron, if you like the player's distance look, which is basically a fat version of their blade, yes, this is slightly different because you've got that exposed lattice work now. Whether you like it or not is a completely different, it's an aesthetic and it's Cobra's way of showcasing necessarily how good this golf club is and what this golf club is different, how it's different to every other manufacturer out there. Feel wise, it's lovely. I cannot complain whatsoever. Does it feel like a pure blade? No, but it does an amazing job at feeling very, very, very close to what I would say a standard player's cavity, which is very, very close to a blade. For a player's distance iron, this golf club has to be one of the nicest out there for certain. Performance wise, out of the middle, not the fastest part of the face, which is actually about 5 mil or so low, out of the middle, it does fine. It's not the fastest face in the world, but it's consistent at doing what it wants to do. And I'm hitting shots in and around middle, and it's just brilliant. It works really well. It goes up fairly well. It stops really well. It's just very, very good. It will work very well for a 70-mile-an-hour swing speed. It launches the golf ball fairly well anyway, and at 31 degrees, it's got plenty of loft as well. 80 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour, you're starting to get in so much speed anyway, you haven't got to worry. And of course, this does go all the way through from 3 and I think all the way down to gap wedge as well, so you've got plenty of options. Yes, it is blooming expensive, and we all know that, but the good thing is Limit 3D was even more expensive. Now 3DP Tour is still expensive, but it's not really, really expensive. It's just really expensive. You can see as they're getting better at mass producing these, the cost is coming down. What I want is every other manufacturer to copy these to get the cost down really low, because the custom fitting potential that this golf club has over any other golf club on the market is crazy good. You can properly get custom fit, no different to driver, but in iron you can move that tungsten around to suit where you hit it on the face and where you need the forgiveness. The forgiveness thing is the most important part. I feel, as long as you're referencing it from a certain point, and I can't help referencing it from where I want to hit in the face, which is the middle of the face, you can hit these from weird and wonderful spots, reference from the middle, and it does such a good job at keeping that ball speed and keeping that distance on. You have to really hit this golf club completely and utterly wacko for it not to go anywhere near target. Cobra, you have made an amazing, amazing golf club. Hope you liked the video. If you did, go and give it a big old thumbs up. Hit that like button. YouTube like it, so do I. Down there is a subscribe button. It's free. It is great for the channel if you could subscribe. So thank you. Next that one is a bell icon. That's a notification bell. If you click that one, that'll let you know next time I upload another video. Hope you're well. We'll see you again soon.